everybody, this is Tom with The Board Gamer. So I had the opportunity to attend my first ever board game convention, and I wanted to share with you my experience along with what I came home with and what I was able to see while I was there. I attended Dice Tower West 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just some context, Dice Tower West, from my understanding, is a more play-focused con than others out there. Of course, there was a bit of shopping, and I did my fair share of that. But luckily, limited suitcase space saved my wallet in the long run. The first day was pretty easy going since there were no exhibitors that day. Megan and I picked up our badges in the morning, and before we entered the con, she scurried off to the all-play table that they had set up next to the registration counter, which apparently you can do if you are one of the sponsors of the event. We talked a bit and asked which of the games they had there that was their favorite, and without hesitation, they picked up Sail. If you do not know Sail, this is a must-follow trick-taking game where players work together to complete campaign-style scenarios with the basic goal of moving your ship from one point to another. And with the excitement of picking up our badges, we immediately made our first purchase at Dice Tower West. We continued in and we toured the convention. We checked out the Hot Games room, the massive library, prototype room, and made our way to the TCG room sponsored by Night and Day Games. They were showing how to play several card games daily like Pokemon, the new Star Wars Unlimited, and Lorcana. We sat down and learned how to play Lorcana. And if I'm being honest, the art on Lorcana cards is great and would be amazing to collect. But in my opinion, as a card game, it fell a little short for me. After that, we went to the Dice Tower meet and greet. And being the shy introverts we are, we only managed to meet Z, who gave us the rundown of the con and gave us some good advice on how to have the best time. Which was basically play as many games and meet as many new people as you can. And with the confidence Z gave us, we ventured to the main hall that had many people playing games and a few demos set up. It seemed most of the demos were coming the next day with the exhibitors, but one demo that was set up was Path of Civilization, published by Captain Games. We sat down with Eva and Ibrahim, who came all the way from Belgium, and they taught us how to play. We were nervous since this was our first game at the con, and they were nervous since English was not their first language. And I want to tell you, we had the best time playing with Eva and Ibrahim. We played a full game, and for as many components that there are in this game, it was super easy to learn and play. In Path of Civilization, unlike other games, they do not have a map. And in my opinion, it makes the game easier and more accessible. You're going through the ages, improving your tech by playing and purchasing cards. And you can also gain bonuses by collecting wonders and historical figures. After 9.5 rounds, we added up the scores, and I don't normally share this, but I won. I only say this as a reminder to Ibrahim, and if you are watching, I'm up for a rematch anytime. But the game was so fun that I purchased the game the next day when the exhibitors were there. Those were the highlights of our first day at the convention. With our found confidence, the next few days were a blur of playing games, making purchases, and meeting people who were mostly named Dan, which made remembering names a bit easier. Just a quick rundown of our other purchases. We have Regency from Peak Games, which has players compete to collect 6 different casts of citizens, but keeping them is harder than you might think. And next, we have a couple of Arcane Wonder games. We had the chance to meet Robert, and as a bonus, Julie from Van Ryder Games. We purchased Gap, which is a trick-taking game, where you collect cards based on matching numbers or numbers next to the Gap number you've played. Then collect and separate by suit and score at the end of the round by subtracting your smallest stack from your largest stack. The larger the gap, the higher you score. We also picked up this promotion pack for 4 Gardens, which has more bonus tiles to add more variety when playing. And for the booth, I spent the most money at and had a great conversation about how publishing works with Dan over at R&R Games. Dan and Holly showed us a few of their games, and we walked away with Hanabi Deluxe 2, which is an expensive version of a $14 game, but the production quality is well worth it in my opinion. In Hanabi, you're working together to try and set off fireworks in ascending order. However, you cannot see the tiles you have and must work off clues given to you by the other players. Do your best to make the show as compelling for the audience before the fireworks go off and you run out of tiles. Then we picked up East India Company, which has you playing through the years, purchasing and selling goods for a profit if possible. We will buy new ships, expand our ports, and even purchase stock in our opponents. If you're a history buff or a fan of economic games, this is one to check out. And the last game I picked up from the R&R table was Amalfi. This is one of the most beautifully produced games. There is no deluxe version, and with looks like this, I can't even imagine what a deluxe version would look like. Amalfi is a resource management type game where you send out ships to bring back goods to help you complete goals set at the beginning of the game. Each round scores a bit different, and you can earn bonuses by completing certain goals ahead of your opponents. The end goal is to bring greatness back to Amalfi and gain the most points. Now the final game I picked up, I put in the extras category. It's a game called Japanese the Game, which is a card game that helps you understand Japanese sentence structure. I put it here mainly because I will probably use it more as a studying tool than an actual game. But one neat feature this game has is there are barcodes on each card that can help you with pronunciation. If you are interested in the Japanese language, I recommend going to JapaneseTheGame.com and checking it out. Now in the non-game category, we also picked up component holder dice trays from Bits and Pips. And they are really cute, and you can check them out on Etsy and even have some custom jobs done to match the game or just for fun. And we made friends with folks over at Playful Otter and picked up some gaming jewelry. Now for the games that we did not buy but tried out. The main reason the games were not purchased was due to luggage space and or they are currently not for sale. The large and most memorable game was Trailblazer, the Arizona Trail. We sat down with Dan and Jan Rice and we went over this amazing game and just got to know each other for a bit. I just want to say, everyone I met at the con was so nice and happy to be there and share in our passion for gaming. Dan and Jan especially. The Banzinator herself was playing a couple tables away. They even offered to introduce me, since I said I had never met her. But she was busy playing a game, and I was still a bit shy, so I declined. But I just thought that was the sweetest thing. But back to the game. Trailblazers, the Arizona Trail, is a great strategy game that has everything from tile placement to set collecting, resource management, worker placement, you name it. And even with all that, the gameplay was super smooth. And with the different mechanics, each move felt fresh, and I never felt like I was stuck. The art on the cards and tiles were great. The game was not available since it is currently on Kickstarter, but if you missed it like I did, I was told that sometime in April, the late pledge manager will open up. We also played a game of Burn the Witch, which is a Peak Games game on Kickstarter. The concept is similar to that of Werewolf, a group of villagers, a zealot faction, and a witch faction. And from our experience, like most social deduction games, this one greatly depends on the people you play with. But basically, you have a rotating accuser and executioner. The accuser points out a trait, and the cards with that trait move forward, and everyone votes to burn or save. And the executioner picks which character to burn, or, if more chose to save, one of the innocent peoples that were not up for the burning become the target, and one of them is executed. This is a bit of a longer game since it's really hard to completely get a player out, which is a plus and a minus. It works great for early games since you never want to be the first player killed and sit out the rest of the game. But come mid or late game, it makes the game drag on a bit since decisions are more crucial for each faction. Another Dan we met, Dan Kobayashi at Ninja Star, was another publisher we spent some time talking to. We went over Pride of the Ninja, which is a new game coming to Kickstarter this year. This is a card drafting game that has players selecting cards and placing some in a front and back row in front of them. And then they go through their abilities numerically and will score based off the abilities these cards have. The art is gorgeous and the abilities really make you think about their placement. We also looked at a few of their other card games, Yokai Septet and Catsul Builder, both trick-taking games. They looked good, but I could not stop smiling at how cute Catsul Builder was. That is one I regret not picking up there, but thankfully their shop has it in stock, so I might end up picking it up just a little later. Now, Picture Perfect over at Arcane Wonders booth was another one I tried and did not have the suitcase space to bring home. I remember when I initially saw it a while back, I was against any technology in my board games. But after sitting down and playing, I really didn't use anything except a phone camera. So I don't know what I was thinking about when it first came out, but in this game, you were trying to make everyone happy. You pick your battles and score when and where you can. I enjoy its light feel and the strategy of picking where you want to score and abandoning what you feel you do not need. But one game I was very interested in but did not get to play because I was hungry and decided to eat instead, but was very intriguing, was Epistocracy. This game basically sounded like Spilling the Tea, the game. And might I add, they had one of the best card, flyers, whatever you want to call it. It gets hot, and with so many people, this was worth the visit to the table alone. I can't tell you much about the game since I did not get to play it, but the theme and art are intriguing, and I can't wait to get my hands on that one. That was pretty much my experience at Dice Tower West 2024. I hope to continue to attend these events. If there is a game I picked up or mentioned in this video you are interested in me making a how to play video for, or if you would like more content like this, let me know in the comments and we will see if we can make this happen. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.